We were having a conversation in the office about a day or two ago, I guess, about the guests who come our way, and many of them have come for years on the show, and the friendships that form as a result of it. So case in point with the next guest who is here, Kevin Fuerst with the Fuerst Financial Group, sat down. I said, what do you want to talk about? And Kevin says, your mom. I want to know how your mom is. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Julie.
I think it's fun that pretty much when you get here, sometimes you have something specific on your mind, but your finances really touch all parts of your life. So how do we choose just one area of focus each month when you're here? It's hard.
So thanks for having me. And
always good to see you.
Let's talk about your mom first.
My mom?
Yeah, we got to talk about her.
Okay, I'm not a person who has really much of a filter. So my mom turns
well,
94.
First, you bring it up every time anyway.
I know.
So I figure, well, we'll just start there. Why wait till the end?
She's probably pretty reflective of a lot of people.
Yeah.
My mom is 94 years old in November.
Yeah.
She has saved her money. She's a Depression era child.
Yeah.
So she has some assets, but she's a Depression era child. So spending her money is challenging for her.
Yeah.
But she's 94. So some health things begin to come up.
Right.
And she's hesitant to let go to spend the money on preventive help in the house, that kind of thing, because she might need that money one day.
Yeah.
She's 94.
I know.
But she might need the money one day.
I know.
So where we find ourselves, my brothers and I, probably is something that you hear counsel or give counsel on a lot, because we're all very close, but we're walking that line between how do we almost make some decisions for her, but not take over, because she still needs her independence.
Yeah.
Sound familiar?
It sounds totally familiar. Personally as well, my mother-in-law is the same way.
Okay. So what do you do?
93, 94, right in there.
What do you do?
Oh, it's just you make suggestions and try to help lead and guide and figure out where the holes are so that you can fill the gap, so to speak. Powers of attorneys are in place. Then the spending, you just have to, and the saving, all that together, you just have to try to help lead and guide until they, the circle of life is what it is. And so eventually they do trust and then have to turn it over because they just can't do it. My mom-in-law sounds like your mother in that she's still very competent. She still can make decisions. She still drives.
Same. My mom still drives. Lives alone.
Yeah, same.
And so for that reason, it's challenging to know when is the right time to step in. So I'm the only girl, so I get a lot of long conversations, which I'm grateful for. And just the other day, it was, I have all these things to do, and my brain is full.
Right.
It's hard for her to remember new information. Old information, she's got.
Right.
But if we give her too much new stuff, it's frustrating for her. So did the powers of attorney.
Yeah.
One of my brothers is the power of attorney. So we're covered in all those ways.
Yeah.
But how she uses her money, she still wants control of it. Does that sound like your mother-in-law?
Yeah, totally the same, yeah. And I think as long as they're competent, you let them go and still lead and guide to make sure that they are doing all the right things, because you don't want them to hurt themselves. You don't want them, to have these accidental falls, which they will, and mine did. And so you just kind of walk through it the best you can gracefully, and it depends on the person too. Now there's a point where the memory, if it's memory care or they lose memory care, then you do take over. Once the doctors have said, look, we're at a point where she can no longer take care of herself either physically or mentally, and then you have to make decisions for her. But until then, I think you try to it's a balancing act though.
Okay, so I said earlier that I don't have a filter, and maybe I share too much information, but here I go again. So my dad, I want to use this as like a pep talk for people. My dad died when I was 10 years old. My mom did not work. She had gone back to work part-time to give me piano lessons. That was it. And my dad was a small business owner, had borrowed against the business for some things, trying to be the good business owner, dies of a heart attack. So the life insurance was not even that much. My mom was kind of left with not a lot. Years go by, I went to a private school in Atlanta, my brothers tell me that we used to go to the school on a Saturday morning. My mom would get me to run the track. She was doing it because she would go underneath the bleachers to look for the change that people might have dropped at the football game. But she's frugal and she's smart as a whip, and she got a good financial advisor in Atlanta. And so what's happened is she's got this conditioned mindset of those days, and she's great financially now, but she can't really believe it. But she does know that she's not ever going to be without again. So to your role in people's lives, you have been that person for other people here and can still be that somebody was for my mom.
That's right.
Is that right?
That's right. And
we all can achieve it.
Yeah, you can. And so, and it's what it sounds like to me is just looking or hearing what you have to say in kind of a bird's eye view. You and your brothers kind of get along.
Great.
Seems like they get along well, and they all have the best interest of your mom, which is key. Sometimes you don't have that. Everybody thinks there's a certain way that it has to be done. And then there's also respect for other members of the family, her brothers and sisters, or her nieces and nephews and other people that want to still be a part of her life. You want to guard her and like put her in a bubble and make sure you control it all. You can't, but at the same time, you guys have a really good working situation, as do we. My mother-in-law seems to be doing well at this point, and good memory, like I said, still drives. And so, you know, but you just lead and guide and do what you can, and you know, you get people to help come over and clean the house sometimes, and just all that stuff that you have to do, the normal stuff, because they can't do it anymore, really.
Right.
Not efficiently and keep up with it. So those are the types of things sometimes you manage. Even as an advisor, we talk to our clients about the same types of things. And you know, you mentioned the powers of attorney. I had someone come in yesterday. They don't have powers of attorney. She has a medical condition that they just discovered, and no powers of attorney. And so, you know, we're trying to help them get those powers of attorney. But you can do that. Well, I can't do it, but the attorney can do it. And so, to me, they're the most important documents you can have, because your likelihood of becoming incapacitated or disabled are way above death. So those are important. In this particular case, if they don't have those powers of attorney, they really can have some issues
what you
later on.
become, what you are for people is like a primary care doctor. You're like the quarterback of the team.
Yes,
you really
true.
are like
That
the
would be
quarterback
true.
of the team.
Yeah.
So I told you he's like an old friend, because I don't think we talked one thing about what you do at Fuerst Financial.
It's okay.
But this is what he does.
That's what we do
at Fuerst Financial. And his dog Tank, who was on the other week with us, he's become kind of world famous. My neighbors are asking all the time if that was my dog or yours. 899-8555 is the phone number. GrowKeepLeave.com is the website. Tell your mother-in-law, hey.
I'll do it. Thanks, Julie.